Hello there and welcome to the Liverpool versus Southampton preview happening tonight on Friday Night Football. Almost forgot it was happening on Friday Night Football, to be honest with you. I actually almost was going to start making my preview tomorrow, and then I remembered we're playing tonight, so we better get into it. We need to get into it for tonight. Looking forward to the match, to be honest. I am looking forward to the match. I look forward to every match, but I also like the fact, in a way, that we're playing before everybody else. The only bit I don't like about it is, obviously, if things don't go our way. Now, this is going to be a different Southampton team that we're going to come up against. I don't think we played against Ralph Hasenhüttl's Southampton team. I think it was still... I can't even remember who I can't remember who was in charge. Honest to God, I can't remember who was in charge before him. But I think he came in after we'd played them already this season. And to be honest, I can't even remember that result. This is pretty bad. My God, I need to get things together, don't I? Anyway, Southampton have won 6 of their last 10 games. They've got some pretty big wins as well, some pretty big scalps in there. But the fact that they're picking up some consistency and pulling away, I think they're pulling away from that relegation zone, or they're, at least a little bit further away from it than they were previous in this season. Because you go back and look in this season, there was times when it was looking absolutely dire for them. And with one relegation zone place left, with Fulham and Huddersfield already confirmed to go down, they're going to want to be pulling away from that as soon as possible. And I think with between 7 or 6 games to go, I don't know how many they've got left, we ourselves have 6 left to go, including this game tonight. After tonight it'll be 5. They're going to be wanting to pick up the points as quickly as possible. I think they're going to try and make it... obviously, they are going to try and make it as difficult as possible for us. And I think I'm prepared to see a similar sort of game that we've been seeing recently. Against Fulham, against Tottenham. I'm preparing myself for a difficult game. I'm preparing myself for a game where we perhaps maybe score early. Maybe an equaliser comes. And then something, it's just going to be madness. That is what I feel. A lot of other people that I speak to feel that we're primed and ready to hand out a drubbing. We're primed and ready to hand out a severe beating. Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. Now, I am not entirely bothered if we go out and hammer a team or not. I'm only bothered about us winning. I really am genuinely only bothered about us winning, because going forward and winning is the only way we keep pressure on Man City. If we drop 2 points, if we drop 3 points, God forbid, anywhere, not just tonight, if we drop those points anywhere, it is essentially game over to Man City. If we lose any points from now until the end of the season, I personally feel that it'll be Man City's title. I don't see Man City slipping up. And obviously this isn't about Man City. I do not see Man City slipping up. I really, really don't. Honest to God, I don't. They can lose players like Aguero and just canter to wins. They can lose players in midfield when they lost Fernandinho and they've lost De Bruyne at points this season. And they just... Alright, they had a difficult spell, I think, where they lost games to Crystal Palace and Leicester at one point, but they basically trounced a hell of a lot of teams, put a lot of goals past a lot of teams, and conceded not that many. Alright, we have a better defensive record ourselves, but overall, they're doing a lot better in terms of goals. And the fact that they are right now above us, if we win tonight, we would go above them. And it's that switching back and forth of who goes above who for the next couple of weeks. If we perform, if we don't perform against Southampton and we come away with a draw or we come away with a loss, that's game over, in my opinion. This is the run-in. And alright, we might be close in terms of points, but all it takes is a loss for us and a win for City, and that gap becomes 4 points. That's all it takes. So when we're level on games played, they would be above us, as they are right now. We're level on games played, they're a point above us. If they win a game and we lose a game, bang, that's a 4-point gap. Difficult. If we can keep it to a 1-point gap towards the end of the season, maybe they could slip up. They still have a big game. They've got the derby against Manchester United. I think they've still got Tottenham to play in the league, as well as the Champions League as well. Aside from that, though, I know we've still got Chelsea to play as one of the big teams, but in my personal opinion, it tends to be the teams like Southampton that cause us the problems. The teams like, no one expected it, but when Fulham caused us problems, and then obviously when you've got a team like Tottenham, they are going to cause you problems. They do have quality. Those two games have been quite lucky in us actually getting the wins. Really quite lucky. There's not really been a great amount of like, oh, that was a class win, that was, fluid football, that was absolutely brilliant, attacking football, blah, blah. None of that. It was luck. And eventually luck runs out. At some point, we have to start being a lot more consistent and a lot better at every point of the pitch. Our defence, I feel, is very, very good. Our attack can be very good, but is inconsistent at the moment. Our midfield is where I have the issue. Now, if we come out tonight and it comes out and we are playing Fabinho in midfield, honest to God, partner anybody around him, don't care, because that midfield will make me feel happy. Fabinho needs to be in that team. He needs to be in that team, in my opinion, more than anybody else. Maybe the second player in there for me would be Gini Wijnaldum. Now, I would still like us to play a 4-2-3-1. I think it benefits us a lot better. It would also give us more of a grasp on the midfield, which I feel if you win the midfield battle in any game, you're going to go forth and you're going to have a much better chance of winning that game. That is my opinion, personally. If we go out there in a 4-3-3, we've got Fabinho in there, we've got a bigger chance of winning the midfield battle. But if we go out there and it comes out of Gini Wijnaldum, Henderson and James Milner, I'm expecting a performance that we had against Fulham. I'm expecting a performance that we had against Tottenham. That is what I'm expecting. Alright, I believe that Fabinho did play against Fulham, I think, if I remember rightly. But even so, it's a static midfield with those three in there, Wijnaldum, Milner and Henderson. And I've said it time and time again, I'm not going to go over it all over again. I want Fabinho in that midfield, and I want him in there permanently. As long as he's not injured, I want him in there permanently. And I feel a lot of people would agree with that. I think it's accurate. He gives you everything. He's almost, people say CDM like a central defensive midfielder. I call him a creative defensive midfielder because he does everything a CDM does, but he's creative in my opinion. His passing ability and range and vision is unparalleled in this team. Nobody matches it from a deep line midfield role or in the centre of midfield. Nobody matches it in my opinion. Not Henderson, Milner or Wijnaldum. Maybe Naby Keita when he settles. He plays in a little bit of a different way, quite a bit of a different way to be fair, but his passing range is very good, but he's not really getting in and around the team at the moment. Fabinho is the man. Wins you the ball back, can set off attacking moves, aerially, very, very good, probably the second best alongside Virgil van Dijk. There's so many points that it could come at that my main point is Fabinho needs to be in there. Put anybody else around him and we'll probably do alright, honestly. Now, if you get into the defence, the only change I might be able to see here is maybe Lovren comes in for Joel Matip. Just because Matip's played a lot of games. Alright, Van Dijk had a lot of games as well. But this is, Matip's played really well. Lovren's coming back from injury. Are they going to want to throw him against Southampton? Me personally, I wouldn't. I would want to stick with Van Dijk and Matip. But maybe people are seeing the goals that we concede. Is that down to Joel Matip? I don't personally think so. I think it's mistakes that happen in midfield that lead to it more than the actual defence itself. Everybody else pretty much speaks for themselves. Now, there is obviously Shaqiri's come back from injury. I think the only people that are now long-term injuries, or at least for the foreseeable future, is Joe Gomez and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who are due back at any moment. We just don't have a confirmed date anyway. So they're literally the only ones that are injured right now. Everybody else is past as fit. So Shaqiri, I'd love to see Shaqiri in that team. If we played a 4-2-3-1, I'd love to see him played either as the number 10 in behind either Salah or Firmino, or if Salah's playing up front, you put Firmino as the number 10 and you play Shaqiri on the right hand side. I think that I'd love to see Shaqiri in there because I think he can be a game changer, and I really think he can be someone with his passing ability as well, but further up the pitch, and his ability to dribble, his little his acceleration, his speed to actually get off the mark and move the ball and move himself with it, obviously. I think that could be really, really good. In terms of the result tonight, my sole focus is on Liverpool winning. And if we just go out there and win 1-0, don't care. Get the 3 points and get out of there. Now, if you can put on a bit of a clinic, fair play, go and do it. If you've got the ability to do it and you know that you can play against this team and do that sort of stuff and really put in a good attacking show, then go and do it. But I would much rather us be a bit more defensively intelligent and solid, be defensively solid, move the ball forward like we have done. We've scored early goals in some of these games, and then we go and like concede a crazy, stupid goal by just switching off for 1 second. If we can just stay defensively intelligent, switched on, and solid, then I feel the rest of it will do its work. So I don't care if we go out there and score 3-4 goals, whatever. I just want the win, and I think that we can get it. I believe that this game is going to finish 2-1 to Liverpool. It's a result that we've had very recently, quite often, but I think that we can do it, and I think that's how it will end. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know what you think. Who do you think is going to be in the lineup, and how do you think it's going to end tonight? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you ever so much for watching, as always, and I will catch you later.